Today, let's talk about why dogs do bad behaviour or bad habits, same thing. Top tip is your dog is getting rewarded, okay? Accidentally, I'm not sitting saying that you're giving your dog a treat anytime it's doing something it shouldn't be doing. Bad. Reason I do that is because what's bad for one person is a good thing for another. For example, barking at the door. A lot of people don't like that. Barking at the postman, blah, blah, blah. I love that. I don't train that out of my dogs. I like my dogs to bark when someone is at the door or near the property. That's a safety thing, and I personally like that. Some other people that are hard of hearing also like that, but that can be a real thing for other people that can come literally to me or to another dog trainer and go, my dog won't stop barking at the door. Your dog would not be repeatedly doing this bad behaviour if it wasn't getting something out of it, okay? Leash pulling, jumping up on people, counter surfing, okay? All these things, they jump up on the counter and they get anything at all. Could it be a toy? It could be food. Okay, the dog has just rewarded itself. It's accidentally got a reward for doing the bad behaviour, therefore it's more likely to jump up in that spot because that last time it done that, or even 1 out of 10 times that it's done that, it got a reward. Jumping up on people. Even if it's 1 times out of 10, that one person out of 10 that goes, oh, don't worry about your dog jumping up on me, oh my goodness, hello, and gives your dog all that attention. Your dog has got a reward for doing that, therefore your dog is going to continue to do that in hopes that it will get that reward again. Leash pulling, especially the bigger dogs. If your dog is able to overpower you and is able to pull you a couple of steps closer to that cat, that bush, that person, that dog will have very quickly clocked on, if I pull hard enough, I get a reward. Which is why with on leash pulling, the main thing is you need to make sure your dog can overpower you. And that's where equipment comes into play. And it also depends on your individual dog. When they're jumping up, some dogs will, if you push them back, that will be a reward for some dogs. Other dogs, that will be a correction. So it's individual to each dog. So it's about knowing your dog and is that reward for your dog. Now, if it's counter surfing, and even if it's a plastic bag, but your specific dog loves to chew on plastic bags, that's a reward. If your dog jumps up, there's a plastic bag, it's got no interest in plastic bag and it jumps back down, it's not a reward. So it's individual to each dog. For any type of bad behaviour, from reactivity, bites, absolutely anything, I could do a whole other video on bites. This is where the issue is. I'll speak very briefly on bites here. This is where the issue comes from. When a dog actually bites is a big issue, because 99.9% of the time, if a dog bites someone, what is that person going to do? They're going to give space, okay? Why would a dog bite someone? For space. So the dog realizes very quickly, right, if I ever want space, I can just bite, because I bit that time and that person really give me space. Or I wanted, say, I wanted some food, and when I bit that person, they dropped the food and I got the food. They're going to realize that biting gets them what they want, and that's why it's so really not good when a dog learns that, okay? That's why we do everything to prevent that beforehand. They'll be growling, there'll be 101 signs before this happens. But that is my point of, even when dogs bite, it's actually not malicious, okay? The main thing, because we can get so frustrated when our dogs are doing these really hard, bad habits, you know, trailing you down the road, barking excessively, being super reactive, super hard to handle. And it can get so frustrating that we do think, my dog is just winding me up. My dog is purposely being frustrating. My dog is purposely winding me up. Honestly, dogs do not have any malice, right? They literally will never do anything just to piss you off. A dog won't bite you to piss you off. A dog won't react to piss you off. A dog won't dig to piss you off. Any reason a dog is doing something is reward based. It's association based. If they are not getting a reward for something, if they never get a reward for something, they're not gonna do it, okay? This is what people don't seem to understand. The first bit of behaviour modification is what it would be under, okay? Or rehabilitation. Dog is doing something really bad and it's making your life really hard. The first thing that you need to do is cut out the accidental reward, okay? Because in every case, there is a reward, whether you're aware of it or not. So this is the first step, being aware of what the reward is and completely taking away the reward. Then I would replace that reward with a correction. Now, I don't work with harsh corrections at all, okay? When I say correction, I'm talking about a or no. Replacing a reward with even a corrective tone. Why is your dog going to now do that? If any time it jumps up on someone and they completely disengage and they get told or no, why is your dog going to keep jumping up? If your dog jumps up on the countertop, there's never anything there, and they get or no, why are they going to jump up on that? The and no, the correction is just to reinforce that I still don't want you doing that, okay? That's still not the right behaviour. And then what we would do is we would give praise when they come down from the countertop, when they jump off the person, when they calm down. That's them. When they do the correct thing that we want them to do, of sitting nicely looking at the person, or sitting nicely at the countertop. These things, when they're doing the correct thing, that's when they get their praise. That's when they get the reward. So you need to teach them whatever this reward is that you want, you will get this when you're doing the correct thing. So completely strip that reward, make it boring. That bad habit's boring now because what you want out of that doesn't work. That's your first step. Second step is your correction, to really show, I don't want you doing that. That is the wrong thing. And then the third thing is your positive reinforcement. So when they are doing the correct thing instead, showing them how to do the correct thing instead, putting them into a position where they can do the correct thing instead. And that's all your praise. And that is basically how to fix. And I know I'm making it sound easy, and it's not that easy. And it's always going to be easier for dog trainers when we're doing these things every single day. But it is that simple. It might not be that easy, but it is that simple. Of cut out your reward, the accidental reward. When you cut that out, you will see a massive difference very quickly, okay? Doesn't mean they'll stop it altogether, and that's why we do the correction, to really help that, and then the positive reinforcement to really hone in, this is how you get this now, not by doing this, by doing this. And that's your behaviour modification done really, really simply and explained really, really simply. And for certain cases, if it's not that bad, that's how simple it is. I'm used to really quite hard dogs with the rehoming and things like that, and there's so many dogs, most dogs that are in the rehoming system is due to bad behaviour, and it is really, really hard. It's one of the reasons why I'm taking a break, because all of it can be helped, you know, and it's just there's not that information out there. So that's why I like doing videos like this, in hopes that maybe people that are really struggling, specifically with rehomed dogs or fostered dogs and things like that, hopefully you'll go, right, that's how you do it, or that's how I can help. And hopefully just this kind of stuff helps those types of people, as well as normal everyday people. But the last thing I would like to say on this is, if you're really struggling, because I know how frustrating it is, and you're maybe getting to the point of thinking of rehoming, or thinking of giving up the foster, or, you know, thinking this just was a bad decision and wasn't right for me, you can do it. Honestly, I've done it with a child and 2 dogs. I get it, and I understand that mindset as well, but you can do it. You put the work in, you can do it. And half the time it is way more simple than we think as well. Now, I'm not talking about a complex bite dog, okay? I could do a whole other video on a complex bite dog. I'm talking about these everyday things. And see as well, one of the most reasons that I've come across that dogs are rehomed is leash pulling. Get your equipment, okay? This is where I can't be a force-free. I can't be 100% positive only force-free trainer, and this is exactly why. We've got dogs that are about to be rehomed, right? The fosters, the new owners, they're giving up. They're like, this dog is trailing me down the street. My mental health is going down. The dog's not getting enough exercise. It's causing all this issues, right? Completely understandable. I'm not sure what a force-free trainer would say or a positive-only trainer would say to that. But what's going to happen if something's not immediately done about this with a quick result is that dog is either going to get thrown back in, or it's going to get thrown back in and put down because it's just not getting rehomed. So Would we rather that, or would we rather stick a nose halty? Nose halty is a little bit of material that goes around the nose and around the collar and basically guides the dog by the nose. I really like these, but it's not force free. Neither is a harness or collar for that matter, but we'll not get into the force free and positive only chat. We'll not get into that. Then there's your slip leads. I do like a slip lead. I no longer use a slip lead because I don't particularly have to. If it came to a bite dog or a really serious dog, that's different. Absolutely, I would consider a slip lead for that. Then you have your prong collars. I don't know anything about prong collars, and I don't need to, quite frankly. I don't need to use them. And if I don't need to use them, what's the point of me even educating myself on it? Do you know what I mean? So I'm not even going to talk about them. But these types of things, and you can also get a harness and a collar and a double-ended lead. This is also a really good idea if your dog's really strong, really pulling, things like that. So there's loads of equipment-based things that you can use for your on-lead pulling, okay? Just to help you with that start bit. And then your next bit is going to be what I've literally just talked about, is your rewards and your corrections and then your positive reinforcement. So hopefully this gets out to people who are really struggling. Stay with it, keep at it, you can do it, and it does get better. Not a lot of people know. I actually at one point was very close to rehoming both my dogs. My daughter was 3 months old, and I had went out with my daughter, and I really struggled when she was young. I had a lot of hormone issues and I really wasn't mentally well, and I came home and both dogs had diarrheaed all over my bed, all over my pillows, my sheets, my duvet. And I was like, right, that's it. Can't deal with it. It's far too much. Gonna have to rehome them. Now, thankfully, I stuck in there. And everything lifted and everything got better. Thank God, by the way. But I get it. I get that mindset of being so frustrated, so fed up, and so mentally tired that you just can't anymore, you know? So, do yourself some justice. Get the help. Hopefully this video helps. And just stay at it. It gets better. It won't get better if you just ignore it. If you just ignore it, nothing is going to change. Do what you can when you can. That's it.